The birth of the cap. Back in the 1960s, the European Economic Community, the precursor to the EU, was still recovering from the devastation of World War II. Food security was a major concern and farmers were struggling. To address these issues, the CAP was launched in 1962 with several ambitious goals. Increase agricultural productivity. Through encouraging farmers to modernize and adopt new technologies, the CAP aimed to boost food production and ensure a stable food supply for Europe. Ensure a fair standard of living for farmers. The CAP sought to provide farmers with a decent income and protect them from the volatility of agricultural markets. Stabilize markets. The CAP aimed to prevent wild swings in food prices, which could hurt both consumers and farmers. Pillars of the CAP: subsidies and market interventions. To achieve these goals, the CAP relied on two main pillars: direct payments and subsidies. The EU provides direct payments to farmers based on the amount of land they farm. This helps ensure a stable income for farmers even in years with poor harvests or low prices. Market interventions. The EU intervenes in agricultural markets to stabilize prices. This can involve buying up surplus produce, setting minimum prices, measures against inflation, or providing export subsidies to help EU farmers compete in global markets. The CAP's impact. The CAP has been one of the most expensive and controversial policies in the EU. Its impact has been a mixed bag. Positive impacts. The CAP has undoubtedly contributed to increased agricultural productivity in Europe and helped maintain a stable food supply. It has provided a safety net for farmers, protecting them from market volatility and ensuring a decent standard of living. The CAP has also supported rural development and environmental protection in some cases. Negative impacts. The CAP is extremely expensive, consuming a large chunk of the EU budget. It has been criticized for distorting agricultural markets, leading to overproduction and artificially high prices for some products. The CAP's export subsidies have been accused of harming farmers in developing countries who can't compete with subsidized EU products. Environmental groups have raised concerns about the CAP's impact on biodiversity and sustainability. Reforming the CAP. The CAP has undergone numerous reforms over the years, aiming to address its shortcomings and adapt to changing circumstances. Some recent reforms have focused on greening the CAP. This involves introducing measures to promote environmentally friendly farming practices, reducing direct payments, and focusing on rural development. The goal is to shift away from simply subsidizing farmers and towards supporting broader rural development initiatives. Improving market orientation. This means reducing market intervention and allowing prices to be determined more by supply and demand. The CAP's future. The CAP remains a subject of intense debate. Some argue that it's still essential for protecting European farmers and ensuring food security. Others call for radical reform or even its abolition, arguing that it's an outdated and inefficient policy. The bottom line: EU's common agricultural policy is a policy that's been praised for its successes and criticized for its failures. The CAP will likely continue to change as the EU faces new challenges such as climate change and growing global competition.